One-day series is over. Sri Lanka lost the series 3-0. Now it is their time to give an edge in the Test series. After rain of funds in the first Test, both teams aiming to get a win in the second Test, which down the corner.
And all but a handful of Wellingtonians were at work. And while everyone thought the game was going nowhere, Crowe and Jones thought otherwise. Together they provided a banquet of records and must have left the Sri Lankans completely dispirited after 2.5 days in the field. A superlative day for New Zealand cricket shouldn't detract from a wonderful performance by the Sri Lankans. Only a couple of days ago they were contemplating their first ever Test victory away from home. That was until Crowe and Jones came centre stage. Richard Beck, One Network News.
To prepare more for the series, organisers offer 2 practice matches to Sri Lanka. So, the practice 4-day first-class game scheduled to play at Nelson against Central District from February 9 till 12. Scott Bryasco was appointed as the team captain. Sri Lanka made 3 changes in between third one-day international and this game. Sri Lanka left out Arjuna Ranatunga, Ashoka De Silva and Ramesh Ratnayak and brought Champaka Gurusingha to open the innings, Ranjith Madhurasingha and Jayananda Warnaweera as spinners. Since they rest the captain, Aravinda act as the captain for this game. Scott Bryasco won the toss and they decided to bat first. Central District had a great first innings. They batted for 128.2 overs and scored 353 runs. 2 players scored beyond 50 runs mark. All-rounder Stu Duff scored 80 and wicket-keeper Tony Blaine scored 57. Leonard and Bryasco misses 50s and both scored 48 and 41 respectively. Off-cutter Warnaweera took 3 wickets for 68. In reply, Sri Lanka scored 419 all-out in 144.2 overs. Asanka Gurusingha scored 121 and Champaka at the tail scored 67. Charith and Sanath scored 39 each. Pawson took 4 for 87. Duff came to the picture with the ball as well and he took 3 for 92. Sri Lankan opening bowler Kapila Gunawardena played a major role in the second innings with the new ball. He took 5 wickets for 65 runs in 22.2 overs, including 3 maidens. Gurusingha and Madhurasingha took 2 wickets each. Due to this performance, Central District bowled out for 244 in 86.2 overs. Skipper Bryasco fights alone and scored 92. Pawson scored 54 not out. Sri Lanka was given a target of 179 to win and in 22.1 overs they passed the target, only losing 3 wickets. Wicket-keeper Kaluwitharana scored quick 61 not out and Sanath scored 42 not out. Sanath Kalu duo put quick 83 unbeaten partnership for the 4th wicket to give them comfortable 7 wickets win in the practice game. After 3 days gap, Sri Lanka walks to Christchurch to meet Canterbury for another 4-day encounter. This match was scheduled to play from February 15th till 19th. Wicket-keeper Lee German acts as the skipper for Canterbury side. Aravinda, Madhurasingha, and Champaka rested and Arjuna, Ashoka and Larui called for the side again. Arjuna won the toss and he invites Canterbury to bat first. Canterbury batted 96 overs and scored 297 for 6 and they declared their innings. 250 plus scored from their side and it goes to Blair Hartland 57 and Darren Murray 50. Kapila and Ashoka took 2 wickets each. Sri Lanka batted for 95.3 overs and they scored 289 for 8. Asanka maintained his form and scored 87. Kaluwitharana scored another 62 and he is almost knocking the Test appearance door. Champaka scored 45 and skipper Arjuna scored 43. Roberts was the leading wicket taker and he took 4 wickets for 83. Canterbury second innings lasts only 24.4 overs. During that period, they scored 51 runs without losing a wicket. So, the match ended up in a draw. Meanwhile, England landed to New Zealand for a short series of 3 one-day international after they completing the Ashes series in Australia. England had a rough series in Australia. They finished the World Series as the last team and lost the Ashes Test series to Australia 3-0.
Got in, what a catch! It's gone, yes, Reed strikes again, what a performance! Score, he's got him! Wow, that's a surprise, he was forward. Umpire McConnell put the finger up, how forward was, afraid. What a catch! Oh, he's a good slipper. Taylor dives away and takes a classic catch.
chance here at cover, and Dean Jones is at cover. Big shout there from Greg Matthews. He's given him the
first game at Christchurch, England won the match by 14 runs. Thanks to 250s of Robin Smith and Alan Lamb. Rutherford and Harris made some resistance, but it is not enough to turn the tide for New Zealand's favour. But the second game went into the wire. Kiwis managed to score 196 with Jones 50. But Pringle and Harris tied up from bowling front to restrict England innings to 187, leaving 9 runs victory to New Zealand.
For the second. Oh, it's gone. Well bowled by Tufnell, held it back to Smith
after this one. It'll go all the way to the back.
Here's Angus Fraser bowling to Jones. Oh, he's clean bowled in. Jones hitting right across the line. Angus Fraser has his third wicket. 61. Continuing. That's cool.
Going for the big shot. Ian Smith. Oh, he's got a fine nick on this. It might run through for 4. In fact, it does. Pringle goes. This is a big one.
That's over the top.
And that is the end of the innings. 49 overs. And they didn't get through in the allotted time. Oh, he's gone. Caught. Drives it solidly.
In the air, but caught. Chris
Oh, there's a mix-up. He's gone. He's run out. The greatest has run out. Well, another mix-up. Oh, he's found him. Well, Smith has gone. He looked to hit one out of the ground. And Pringle. Oh, this could be 4.
Oh, it is 4. My goodness, that's a good shot. That was a marvellous stroke by Bicknell, wasn't it?
Well, it was. Oh, it's in the air. He's gone.
He's out. My goodness me. Bicknell is out.
Hit. Oh, he's gone.
He's out. He's caught. That's the end. New Zealand have won by 9 runs. It's 1-all to play for in Auckland. What a finish. That was thrown up by Crowe there in the covers. Fraser trying to make room to draw it. It's over.
Third game again a nail-biter. With help of Jones and Smith's 250s, Kiwis scored 224 for 7. And Cairns' 4 wickets and Pringle's 3 helped them to ball out England for 217. Leaving 7 runs win and the series to Kiwis. That was the practice session for New Zealand to walk to the test pitch next.
Nicely played by Reid. Good shot. 4 runs. Oh, this is in the air. Top edge. He's gone. Richard Reid out. Very strong.
Well, that was a fine stroke. And there is the 50. Jones's 2 matches.
Uh-oh, this is trouble. And that's out. Great batch gone for 12. New Zealand now 4 down. Alan.
Harris lifting. Oh, he's got a hold of it. Nice shot. Oh dear, mix up here and run out surely. Yes. Andrew Jones has run out. Quick thinking by Gladstone Small. Smith gets it away fine, and it might be fine enough to beat Stewart.
And he's done well too. He just clips it over there, and that's 4 runs for Chris. Smith down to Fraser. Oh, he's bungled it again. Well, they've had the... Harris goes high, over the top. That's going to be 6. That's a magnet.
Well, that's well hit.
Oh, he's got hold of this one, Smith. And that's up on the tip. And away it goes again. And 1 bounce. Oh, bowling. Big Yorker, straight through Harris. And he thumps that one straight. What a good shot. 4 runs. Oh, ball down the leg side, he's got hold of it, 4. He's hit this one down the ground, he won't get 4 for it, they're looking for 2. In fact, Cairns is coming back, oh, this is suicide. He's hit this one, it could be caught, no, it's dropping just short of Gladstone Small, but they'll come back for 2. There's 1 ball to go, but the crowd have forgotten about that, they're running on. Of course there was a wide, so we're going to have a bit of a delay here, this is a shame. But no doubt. Beautifully driven by Gooch. Over the top, that's going to be 4. He's swung it away very well. That's a good shot. That'll go through to the fence for 4. A good looking shot. Again, a wide delivery. What a fine shot. Up and...
Oh, that's a beautiful shot again. The big crowd.
Oh, it's bowled him. That one kept a little bit low, snuck through onto the... Oh, edged very fine, but well played.
Catch, and he's out. Now he gives this the full flourish, and it's heading out to the back.
Well, that's a good shot from Lamb. It's a short boundary there.
Ball swung away. Lamb getting hold. Looking to swing it away. It's beaten Smith running away off the pad. Oh, he swung this one away. It could be caught. It is.
Ron pulled away, and that's 4. Short boundary down there. Well, that's a fine shot. That's 4.
Lamb goes over the top, lovely hit, and blocked it, lovely shot. 6. Edge. He's out, and he knows it.
Chris Cairns has got the...
Oh, bowling.
Well, that is...
Oh, that
It's 4 runs, it's 4 runs, crucial there.
down the ground.
It's going to be out, it's going to be out, it's caught there. That's out, that was a slot there by Glasses.
Yes, I think so. Oh, well, that's not a bad shot.
And that's what's going to happen.
We might get 4.
He's got 4. My goodness. England have lost, New Zealand have won. New Zealand have won by 7 runs. The crowd is invading. New Zealand have won the Bank of New Zealand Cup.
After different practice strategies, both teams walks to Hamilton to start the second test from February 22 till 26. Brian Aldridge and Steve Dunn was appointed as the field umpires. Seddon Park, Hamilton was a new venue for Sri Lanka as well as for the world. This is the maiden test in the venue. This is the 4th biggest cricket ground in New Zealand, and it was named after Richard Seddon, the longest-serving Prime Minister of New Zealand. This ground starts staging one-day internationals since 1981 and can host 10,000 spectators. After a memorable first test match, New Zealand decided to make 2 changes. New Zealand rested Mark Greatbatch and Grant Bradburn and called 2 spinning all-rounders Shane Thompson and Deepak Patel. 22 years old Shane played just 1 test so far against India exactly 1 year before. He scored 22 and not out 43 on the game and took 2 wickets and a catch. He is a right-hand batsman and right-arm off-break bowler. Deepak Patel is playing a major role in one-day arena and play in tests time to time. He playing as a right-arm off-break bowler and middle-order right-hand batsman and played 11 tests thus far for New Zealand. Including a 50, he has scored 259 with the bat and took just 1 wicket and 2 catches in test arena. On the other hand, Sri Lanka made 2 changes. Due to injury, they dropped Roshan and sent him back to Sri Lanka. Also, they dropped off cutter bowler Jayananda Warnaweera from playing 11. As replacement, Sri Lanka brought 2 new faces, Champaka Ramanayake and Sanath Jayasuriya, to test arena. Roshan Mahanama's injury opens the test door for young opening batsman Champaka Ramanayake. He joined the team halfway after Sri Lankan opening batsman Champaka Ramanayake got injured in the practice game. Upul Champaka Ramanayake is the 48th test player for Sri Lanka. He is 22 years old when earning the test cap. He is an old boy of Valuwana College Colombo and play for Tamil Union for first-class games. One notable fact is, unlike all other Test players, he never represents his school side in cricket. Young left-hand all-rounder, Sanath Jayasuriya was the Sri Lankan Test number 49. Sanath Dharan Jayasuriya already played 15 one-day international games for Sri Lanka. He was a proud product of St. Servatius College Madura, and during the first-class season he represent Colombo Cricket Club. He was born in June 30, 1969 at Madura. He is one rare addition to Sri Lankan squad who is having cricketing roots outside Colombo. Sri Lankan skipper Arjuna won the toss again and he decided to field first. New Zealand made a slow start. Rather than go for runs, two Kiwi openers decided to safeguard the wicket. They billed 40 runs stand for the first wicket in 26 overs. Then Sri Lankan part-time bowler, Asanka Gurusingha draw the first blood by removing Trevor Franklin for 15. He faces 86 balls and not hit any boundary. Labruhi came to the action in the next over and he took the wicket of right, giving first test catch to the debutant Champaka for 21. After 2 hours of batting, Wright scored his 21 off 73 balls with just a boundary. So, the scoreboard shows 2 for 40 and 2 world record partnership holders, Crowe and Jones, joined in the middle. They both lift the score to 125. After scoring 36, Martin Crowe gave another catch to Hashan off Arjuna, just like his marathon second innings in the previous game. After batting for 73 balls he managed to hit 3 boundaries. Rutherford not lasts long and he went for a duck-giving catch to Hashan off Ramanayake. Scoreboard shows 126 at that time. Andrew Jones keep one end safe and batted throughout the day with Shane Thompson, and both built unbeaten 95 runs for the 5th wicket. Jones scored 109 not out at stumps and Thompson gave a good support by hitting 32 runs. Asanka, Kram, Arjuna, and Champaka took a wicket each. At the end of the first day New Zealand were 221 for 4. After adding 18 to the overnight score, Shane Thompson departs for 36. He batted for 186 minutes, faces 156 balls and hit 3 fours for his 36. Ramanayake sweeps his stumps and marks his second wicket. Sri Lankan opening bowler Ramesh starts his wicket column, taking century maker Jones next. Jones scored 122 off 217 balls in 288 minutes with 6 fours. This is Jones' third overall century and back-to-back one against Sri Lanka in adjacent tests. Jones was Hashan's third catch in the innings. Rest of the wickets starts falling in regular intervals. Ramesh starts his hunt and took wicket after a wicket. Finally, he ended up taking 5 for 77 in 30.4 overs. This is Ramesh's fourth 5-wicket hauls in tests. Hashan ended up having 5 catches behind the wicket. Arjuna got himself injured while bowling and left the field during the innings. Finally, after batting 121.4 overs, New Zealand got themselves all out for 296 runs. Sri Lanka starts their first innings. Charith not last long. He scored 5 in 12 balls with a boundary. Smith caught him behind the wicket off Pringle when the score was at 8. Debutant Champaka built 30 runs for the second wicket with Asanka. Then he ended up his first ever test innings for 23 off 45 balls. Champaka hit 4 boundaries. To make things even worse, Sri Lankan star batsman Aravinda goes next for 1 to Watson when total is at 41. Since Arjuna still suffering from his injury, Hashan promoted as number 5. Both Asanka and Hashan put 42 runs partnership and Hashan goes for 12 in 25 balls with a boundary. Next came second debutant Sanath. He played nicely with Asanka and put up much needed 80 runs for the 5th wicket. Finally, Sanath fall for leg before the wicket to Patel to 35. This youngster faces 82 balls in 113 minutes and hit 5 boundaries. Arjuna decided to stay behind the stage and sent Champaka as the night watchman. Champaka did his duty well and served till the end of the day by scoring 13 not out. In-form batsman Asanka Gurusingha was the star of the innings thus far. During the day he scored 81 not out. So, Sri Lanka managed to score 180 for 5 by the end of the 5th day. Third day started, night watchman Champaka not last long and he failed to add a single run to his overnight score. He got himself run out unfortunately when the score was at 185. Champaka scored 13 off 55 with 2 boundaries. Sri Lankan skipper Arjuna walks next despite his injuries. 2 left-handers lift the score by 55 runs. Arjuna scored 21 off 66 with 3 fours and goes to Morrison. Adding 6 more runs to the total, Sri Lankan highest scorer Asanka, who scored 119, goes next. He batted 362 minutes and faces 261 balls and hit 17 boundaries and 1 massive 6. This was Asanka's second Test century and his highest score, passing his previous best of 116 not out against Pakistan in 1986. After Asanka departs, Sri Lankan tail collapse and they were all out for 253 in 93.4 overs. Both Morrison and Watson took 3 wickets each. Ian Smith had wonderful time behind the wicket and he took 7 catches. He equals the world record of most catches by a wicket-keeper in an innings with Wasim Bari and Bob Taylor. Due to these performances, Kiwis managed to keep 43 runs advantage in the first innings. Even though New Zealand had 43 runs advantage, they had bad news as well. Their skipper Martin Crowe got himself injured during the fielding, so bit doubtful to bat. Like in the second innings of the first Test, both openers put up a good partnership to the first wicket. 161 runs partnership for the first wicket gives some hope to New Zealand for a Test win. This is the 4th best first wicket stand for New Zealand opening pair. During the day, John Wright scored 101 runs in 140 balls with 14 boundaries. This was his 11th Test 100 and his last 100 of 117 not out he scored against Australia at Wellington in 1990. Also, this is his first against Sri Lanka, passing his previous best of 88 in the first Test. Finally, Ramanayake got his wicket, giving an edge to Hashan. Kiwi Kemp decides to send a night watchman to save another wicket before the day, and they sent Morrison. But Ramanayake having different thoughts and he took Morrison for a duck. Danny faces 14 balls and gave his wicket as Sanath Jayasurya's first catch. This wicket forced Jones to walk to the middle in the evening and he saved by scoring 2 not out. Kiwi opener Franklin safeguarding one end and he was not out 56 till the day close. So, New Zealand called the third day when the scoreboard is showing 170 for 2. Fourth day starts. Kiwis in promising position with a lead of 214 runs with 8 wicket in hand. When the scoreboard shows 209, Franklin got himself out for 69 to Ramesh. He batted for 290 minutes and faces 204 balls and hits 7 boundaries. This was his 4th Test 50 and first against Sri Lanka. Just like in the first innings, Rutherford not last long and he goes for 6 to Ashoka de Silva. Then Jones and Thomson put solid 105 for the 5th wicket. Thomson scored 55 off 72 with 7 boundaries. And this was his first 50 in a Test game. Patel goes for 9 next. After that, Jones marks his 2nd century in the game. Close of play, he was not out 100 in 172 balls. He batted for 255 minutes and hit 8 fours. Overall, this is his 4th century. In last 3 innings, he has passed 100 runs mark against Sri Lanka. This is the 40th occasion a batsman hit centuries in both the innings of a match and 3rd Kiwi batsman after Glenn Turner and Jeff Howarth. Kiwis declared their innings after scoring 374 for 6. Champaka took 2 wickets for 97 and Ashoka took 2 for 89. Sri Lanka was given a target of 418 to win the game in the 4th day afternoon. Sri Lankan openers take the responsibility seriously. Both batted solid and put 95 runs for the first wicket. This is the first 50-plus stand a Sri Lankan 2 openers put after 1988 against Australia at Perth. Also, this is the 2nd best stand ever in Test for Sri Lankan duo after 159 runs partnership between Siddharth and Ravi against Pakistan in 1986. Charith scored 64 off 81 balls with 10 fours and this is his first ever Test 50. Finally, he goes for Watson by giving a catch to Jones. Like in the first innings, Champaka got a promotion as a night watchman. He did his duty again and kept his wicket till end of the day and he was unbeaten 11. Other opener Chandika was 30 not out. So, at stumps Sri Lanka were 109 for 1. 309 runs behind with 9 wickets in hand. Last day starts with a positive note. But Lankans lost their night watchman Champaka without letting him to add any runs to his overnight score. Watson took his wicket when the score was at 121. In form batsman, Asanka joined Chandika and both put 117 for the 3rd wicket. Chandika, playing on his first ever Test, scored a beautiful 81 runs in 232 balls after spending 313 minutes in the wicket. Also, he hits 9 boundaries and finally fall for Thomson. Aravinda falls cheaply again and both Hashan and Arjuna scored 20s. When the scoreboard reaches to 320, Asanka loses his wicket to Morrison for 102. With the century in the second innings, Asanka becomes the 41st batsman to do such record. Before him only Duleep Mendes did the same in 1982 against India. Overall this was his third test century. Arjuna and Ashoka batted some time after Asanka departs, and when the umpires call it a day, Sri Lankan scoreboard shows 344 for 6 in 125 overs. Just 74 runs short to the victory margin. Watson and Patel took 2 wickets each. So, the match ended up in a draw. Just like in the first game, this game too was a memorable one. Ian Smith took 8 catches behind the wicket. Both Jones and Asanka scored centuries in each innings. Having said that, organizers decided to nominate all 3 as man of the match. It was another good game, and that opens up the last game of the series, the third test, to determine the series winners. Let's find out what has happened on the game in our next episode.